Hi, this is Majo John Madden. It's around 6 in the morning in Victoria, and we did rent our room at the very lovely Hampton Inn, 2 gorgeous beds. And so why are we out in the camper van at 6 a.m.? Because my wild dog could not rest in that room. Nothing in there was familiar to him. It's not his turf at all. And although by middle class norms, it's a dramatically better environment, really it wasn't better for either of us. The only way it was dramatically better is the Wi-Fi is really strong, and I'm loading video after video, and I've been so stimulated and excited by being in Mexico and by walking around and seeing all the fabulous, so different stuff, and the addition of a puppy to our lives, which has really wreaked havoc on our lives. Boy, the addition of a baby. I used to say when we adopted our baby, I was so incredibly in love with that baby. It became clear immediately why a parent would instantly and without question lay down their life for their child, because that's the future. That's the future, and your job as a parent is to, above all else, protect and further that life. So I knew, man, if I had to jump in front and take the bullet for that baby, I would in a hot second. And I'm not thinking about stopping a bullet for this puppy, but he's just totally preoccupied my life, taking care of his needs and making sure because he's so vulnerable. I think he's possibly not even 8 weeks, possibly not even the age where he's supposed to be out on his own. So I have to make sure I arrange the environment that he has food and water and sleep. But he's a baby. He's getting up every 2 hours, needing a feeding, needing something. And I rave in that last video of our things getting better. That I gave him his first roughhouse session, which my kid used to adore. My son, at a certain age when he was little, maybe 5 or so, to have a wrestling session with Dad, that was the nads. He was crazy about that, and I was really skilled at giving him just enough resistance without hurting him, so he really could just go crazy and get all his yayas out. And so I did that with little Peppy yesterday, and it was awesome. And then a couple of times since. The other thing I'm realizing is it's all dialectics. Everything is dialectics. So I have to give him the right balance of roughhouse and tenderness and comforting and soothing and just holding him and stroking him and singing to him, letting him know that even though he's not with his mom anymore or his puppy siblings, that he's safe in the world. Because it's exciting and fun to get him playing and roughhousing. But he does have sharp little teeth, and he will piss people off, and he's pissed my dog off. So if I don't strike the right balance of soothing and tough, rough, I could turn him into a monster. I think he might have pit bull in him, and the only way you can turn a pit bull mean is by teaching him to be that way. But I could do it accidentally. Teach him to always be on the offensive. So it's the sweetness that I've got to give too. The other couple of things I learned related to that first video, I'm a big believer in solid boundaries, really supporting people at having solid boundaries. Brene Brown said her research found that, she's a social scientist, and her research found that the quality that most makes people happy and healthy is something that they give the label of open-heartedness. And that's always been a no-brainer for me, because for years that was the thing I most wanted, was to open my heart. But she says the second quality that correlates most directly with open-heartedness is solid boundaries. And that's more confusing or surprising to middle-class people who are taught to be nice. But we got to have solid boundaries. Really, solid boundaries make it safe to open your heart. If you know that you can put up a boundary when you need to, then it's easier to open your heart. So you got to have both. And I've gotten really good at the second part of it in the last 3 years especially, which I never was very good. So I was not supporting solid boundaries with Magic. The couple of times that Magic, he didn't snap. He didn't snarl or snap his jaws or anything like that. He just barked. He just let out a warning bark, like, back off. Well, I want to support him in that. I disciplined him because out of my protectiveness for the vulnerable little baby, I didn't want to scare the baby. But in fact, it never showed signs of traumatizing the puppy at all. No, he's in the ozone, you know? He's not even registering the meaning of things. But if I take away from Magic the capacity to tell that dog to back the fuck off, then he's just going to keep harassing and driving Magic crazy, and so he will remain a thorn in Magic's side. And I don't want to get in them. And the second thing is, I have always told people, dogs do a better job of getting to know each other if obsessive, protective parents don't get in the middle. Let them work it out. So let these two dogs work it out. Magic can bark when this guy with his little sharp teeth is trying to bite Magic's foot. He's got a right to say, no, you can't do that. So I want to support that. Yeah. So we're a lot more happy out here in this is our comfort zone. This is where we live. We know where everything is. I knew where nothing was in that room. I may go back and sleep for another hour or two because I did get some 2 hours of deep sleep before the puppy woke up. Okay, I think that's good for this one.